We will not be shaken. We will not be moved. For the Lord is beside us. With him we cannot lose. Though the shadow surrounds us, we will fear no evil. We'll trust in the Lord with our hearts and in your joy we will dwell forever. Y'all ready to go, Columbia? Let's go! Though the night may seem weary, joy is coming, coming, coming in the morning. All praise to Jesus. I know joy is coming.
You know, I would say today is Tuesday and give the date, but I don't know what today is. That's bad. I don't know what I don't know the date. Coach
I
Sherry, you
think
know
it's
the
the
date? What's
17th.
today's date?
I think
What's
it's the
today's date?
17th. Let me check.
The
Yeah, the
what?
17th. Tuesday the
I can't hear
17th.
you. I'm gonna have to bring this up. Can you, Coach Sherry, say something?
Say something.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay.
You might be
It's
echoing.
Tuesday, October 17th. Come on
There
now.
we go. There we go. Coach Sherry will officially give us the date because I never know the date. All right. Good morning, Coach Cheryl.
Good morning, Minister D.
It's morning break, and we're close to 11. We're getting closer to our start time. We're not
That's
all the way
amazing.
there yet. We're getting
That's
close though.
okay. Yeah, that's amazing.
I know, right? Can we? You know what? We should just celebrate. All right, they get loud. They get rowdy real quick. Yeah, so it is a beautiful Tuesday. The sun is out. Prayerfully, it's out wherever you are. Coach Cheryl, is the sun out where you at?
Yes, it is. It's a
Oh,
bit
look at that.
chilly. It's a bit chilly, but I mean, I
I
haven't been
know,
outside,
right?
so I don't
It's my
know.
favorite time of the year. Do you know I work out more during the winter than I do the summer? I don't care what you think about it.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
It feels good. I mean, I don't sweat as much. I'm not as hot. I love the breeze. I love all of that. I'm a cold weather person. So, but y'all know that because I wear pants all year round. So that's just
Yeah.
my favorite time of the year. How was your week or your weekend?
It was good.
It was good. Mine was hectic. It was busy. It was a lot of moving parts happening over the weekend. A lot of unexpected this and unexpected that. My in-laws came to town, and
Okay.
I know, right? We hadn't seen them in months. Since we last seen them, my mother-in-law had COVID, so it was really good to see her and my father-in-law, and we had so much fun. We took my mother-in-law to her alma mater, Prairie View A&M, and she hadn't
Okay.
been there. She hadn't been back to the campus in 50 years.
Oh wow.
50 years since she last seen
It
the
probably has
campus.
changed a lot.
Oh my! That's that's what she. Do you know that we found out that there was only one building that's still there that was or would have been there when she was there.
Oh,
Everything else is completely different. New buildings, new renovations. The campus grounds look different, and all all she could remember is the graveyard. for certain reasons. The graveyard had a significance, I guess, to students back then.
oh, okay.
But that's all she can remember. And but she thoroughly enjoyed herself, and I enjoyed seeing her enjoy that. It was very awesome to have that experience with her. She had a camera out taking up pictures and stuff, and then we went to the fruit stand. We went to the fruit stand, and that was for all intents and purposes. Very nostalgic. You know, fresh everything. They grow most of what's out there, and it was. We got to go, Coach Cheryl. It's off 290. It's called DeLorean
The
Farmers.
who?
DeLorean.
Oh, okay.
DeLorean Farmers. They grow 90% of what they sell at this market. It's like a
Right.
farm to market, yeah, whatever you call it. But it was it was nice. It was nice. I love when I go out there and we can get some fruit or whatever. And we had a good time there. So
Yeah, we're gonna have to go.
yeah, we definitely have to go.
Anywhere
Experience.
close to no, not Hempstead. That's what
Is it close to where?
Hempstead. You know
Yes,
where you
that's
have to go to
that's
get
where
the
it's at.
watermelons? Oh, okay.
That's exactly where it's at. Where you go and get the watermelons. It's out there in Hempstead. That's right.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, you know about it then.
No, but we have to go.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I'm shocked that less people know where this place is. You know, I don't know why, but not as many people know about where this place is. But they should go, and they should check it out. They would love it. It's a beautiful place, and it's nice. So yeah, so that was our whole weekend in a nutshell. That was everything that happened for us, and
Yeah,
I
I know
enjoyed
you
it.
had to go somewhere. I know you.
Yeah, yeah. I enjoy time with family. I love my family. I love my time with you. Well, you know that I like to be around that genuine love. I think that's why I don't give in. You know, we talked about relationships last week. That's why I don't really have time for all these extra relationships because I think where it's genuine at, that's where you have to focus at. You know, so for me, I don't go looking for friendships. I don't go looking for relationships. If God send a person into my life, then we typically have a really good relationship, and we flow as God would have us to flow. And I've had minimal issues with friendships. I can't relate to people that say, "Oh, I fell out with my friend." I don't have any friends to fall out with like that. Most people that are close to me like that are like family to me. Even if we're not blood, they're like family to me. So there's no falling out. There's no us not getting along because we're in a God ordained space. And so I'm very protective of that. And I like to keep that for where it's at. I don't really like to go out here and create new relationships. So if you're one of those people that's like, God, I've been trying, that's probably why. You've been trying, and I don't like trying. I like
It happens.
friendships,
It
but
just
yeah,
happens.
I can't tell you when we got close because it just happens. You know, you ever had that way? It's just like it just happened. There's no way of knowing how. I don't remember all that. I just
Right.
know what I know.
Right. 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 Yeah.
That's
It
me.
happens. Yeah.
That love keeps no record. That's how I know I love because I have no record of when we got close. We just ended up here, and I thank God for that. And so I think it's a good thing when we can do that, when we can have or build those relationships, and not limit ourselves to the mechanics of building. So how do you feel about stuff like that? Like when you're building friendship, how does it work for you?
I'm kind of like you. I don't go out to seek to build friendships. They
Right,
just happen.
right.
Yeah.
That's how I
I
am.
don't know if something brings us to happen to we be in the same space, and if something clicks, okay, fine. If it doesn't click, then that's fine too.
Right. I'm the coach here. Look, we're in the same family. We're in the same family. And I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean it in a very genuine way, you know. But I think if we would explore organic relationships a lot more, you would have the right people around you. I think for me, my thing is really about purpose people. And you know, we've talked about that before. Your purpose people are people that are connected to your purpose and not your person. So they,
Right.
they really have no understanding of where you are because their connection to you is more about where you're going.
Right.
And even if they are not so kind to you in the end, as a purpose person, they always have to do what's best for your purpose. So I'm learning that even in those situations, don't think it's always going to be green grass, because sometimes your purpose people have an assignment to be against you or to discourage you. And we think that good friendships come without discouragement, comes without any negativity. And I think it's a false narrative or to assume that there's no negativity that should ever come from people who love me. That's just not true, you know?
Well, I mean, you have to look at the fact that some people are in your life for a season, they're in your life for a reason, or they're in your life for purpose. Now, if they're in your life for a season, they may not be there for a long time, and you just have to be okay with that. So when it's time for them to leave, then they can go.
They can phase out. I think that's a very valid point, Coach Cheryl. We got to prepare people for wherever God gonna send them. If He's gonna send them, if He's gonna draw us closer, draw us further. Be prepared for whatever God does, and allow God to do it. We talked about last night. We talked about faith and what faith represents and what faith really is, because a lot of times we assume that we say that faith is more so on what we trusting in what we have not seen, including this idea that we have not seen God, so we have to have faith in God. But I don't know why, and you share your thoughts on this, Coach Cheryl. I don't know why, but a part of me, even in the spiritual space that I'm in currently, is shifting in that, because for the last 3 months, God have been teaching me on this faith journey that you have seen me. And this has been really a challenge for me, because I'm like, God, this is different. And the Lord kept saying, you have seen me. And then what God kept showing me was all the things I've endured. And you seen me there. You seen me there. And so this idea that faith is just predicated upon trusting the unknown, it's more about trusting the known, having faith in. Your children don't know what you're going to do for them tomorrow, but they know what you did for them yesterday, which is room for them to have faith that if you did it before, you'll do it again. And I think this really for me has created an open door, because my prayer a couple months ago was, God, kind of, like that help my unbelief passage. But my prayer was, God, increase my faith so that it is not just easy to trust you, but that it is my nature to trust you. And that was my prayer. I prayed that for about 3 to 4, probably going into the 4th week. Then the Lord began to drop this revelation upon me. And as I kept studying faith, I kept realizing that, when you look at the passage that says faith without work is dead, when you look at this is really going left, because we are not taught this. We're taught to just believe in the unseen and the unknown. But God kept challenging the fact that you have seen my work in your life. And because you have seen my work, because I have done it numerous times, you can believe me for what you have not seen. And here's where it got good for me. It was because God said, but here's the thing. While I did it for you, I also did it through you. So that's why the requirement of believing in yourself and having faith that I can use you, that I can do anything but fail through you, because through your life, I did X, Y, Z. And so it was like, okay, all right, God, I understand now that it is more about me having faith in what I have seen you do and what I know you will do, even though I have not seen it done yet. So what is your idea of that when it comes to faith and walking things out by faith?
Well, you just said a mouthful,
I
and I'm
know.
trying to follow you. But faith to me is, if God said something, even though you haven't seen what He said,
Right.
you still believe that He said it and that He's going to do it. And so you hold on to that belief, and so you're hoping in that that it's going to come to pass. So you hold on to that in faith, that no matter how long it takes, you can trust him that he's going to do what he said he was going to do.
Right. That
So is
that
that kind of like what you just said?
well, yeah, that sums up everything I just said. That's good because somebody probably was like, I was with him. I didn't. He hit a turn. I fell off the wagon. So that's exactly what I'm saying. We have to be in some ways or another accountable to that faith and trust God that whatever He said He's going to do, He's going to do it. And because because we believe him to do it, because we believe him to be the truth and the light, we in sense have to know that he's able, and to know that he has or he possesses the ability to do it, because he's always doing it, and that's where faith for me is starting to shift.
Right.
It's trusting to
When
know
you
that he
when
is
you look at
always.
the passage that we looked at last night, when we were talking about Abraham
Uh-huh.
and how God gave him a promise of a son, and it looked like it wasn't gonna happen. He getting
Right.
older. He done got old, and his wife is old, and
Exactly.
no way that they are gonna produce what God said they were gonna produce. But in essence, God was showing them, I made you this promise, but as long as you were capable of doing it, it's not faith. And so it has to
Right.
be what I'm going to do for you. And so I have to wait for the appointed time for me to bring it to pass. And you just have to have the faith to wait. And so it was saying in the passage that we were looking at, well, he didn't waver, he kept the faith, and it took like 25 years before he finally, I mean, he messed up because he listened to his wife, and she,
Can we
gave
talk
him.
about that? How quickly how quickly we can really mess up because we've taken outside counsel on a
Mhm,
us and God situation.
mhm.
Because sometimes faith is just you and God. It's not you,
Right,
God, and everybody else.
right.
It's holding on to what God said when people are saying, but listen, it don't make sense.
Right.
It don't
It
sure it
don't make
listen.
sense. It makes faith.
Right. And that's the thing. When we understand that the making of faith, the shaping of faith. Um, and I say this because for me, I found myself now becoming, I call a faith head. Everything for me is like it's up to God. It's up to, and not that old churchy. Well, let me pray about it and see what God say. You know that I can't make my mind up, so I throw God out there situation.
Mhm,
Not
mm-mm.
that. It's like God, whatever it is, I'm trusting you. I've learned to stop trying to do because God has already done.
Done. Hmm. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, if he said it, it's already done. He just
Yeah.
haven't
Wow.
manifested it in your life because he's working out that faith in you. Now, if you keep
Wow.
asking for more faith, then it's going to take longer
Yeah.
because he's
Right. It's like
he's
my
working out
son. I
that
keep
faith in
telling
you.
him you're gonna drive. And he's so ready to drive. But I've been watching you, Dad. I know how to do this and do that. So I'm like, okay. So we get in the parking lot, and I brake, get off the wheel, let the steering wheel, and I'm like, you're not ready. You're not ready to drive yet. We got some work to do. I believe wholeheartedly it's going to happen, but it's my job to make sure that you can do it. And even when it seemed like I'm not present, you still know what to do, you
Hmm.
know. And I
Hmm.
think most of us are saying, God, let me take the wheel, even though I don't know how to drive this situation.
Right.
And that's
Right.
not the operative of faith, because faith is not a matter of trusting that God will get you to it. It's a matter of trusting that God will build you for it.
Right.
And I think we miss that. You
Yeah,
know,
we do miss that. We miss that all the time
yeah, we get
because
that. We get that
because we're
wrong.
so into self, and we're I
Right.
got to do this. I got to, it's I, and it's not I, it's God. I got to get out the
You better
way.
preach, Coach Sherry. It's not I. It's who? It's
It's
God.
God. So
It's
only
God.
God. I mean, He says
Right.
I am. He says I am. And if you notice, whenever you say I am, now you got God behind you because God says I am.
Stop right
Anything you
there,
need.
Coach Sherry. clap for you, girl. When I have to cut them off, you know they get rowdy. When you say I am, you have what behind you, coach?
You have God behind you because that's God. You're saying I am. You calling him by name. He says I am everything you need. So you be
Wow.
mindful when you say I am sick. Now you got what you
Ah,
put behind that. You know?
I am. So when you say I am going to do something, you
Right.
have God behind you in that effort, on that journey. It's a
Because you
God
just
thing.
called him by name. Yeah.
Woo-wee. All right, that's heavy. That's heavy. That is heavy. That is heavy. My God, today. You better teach, Coach Cheryl.
So I am wealthy. I
Uh-huh.
am anointed. I
Uh-huh.
am chosen.
Uh-huh.
Then all of those I ams is you got God behind you
You have
in
God,
I
man.
am.
Come on.
But you also
Mm,
your words you're snared by your words because you're saying things and you're not really aware of what you're saying. So when you say I am sick, I am broke, I am so you still invoking the same
right.
power.
Still, you're invoking the same God factor. Yeah, and I think we miss that. We miss that often because I'm learning that if I'm talking about me, I'm talking about a move of God. Especially if it's something that's great. Like, here's what's crazy, and we're going to talk about this when we come back. God has given vision to me that just seems so massive and so. God, are you sure you're wanting me to carry that out? Kind of like where we are now. This was shown to me years, 6, 7 years before this was reality. And every time something went wrong in my life, I'm like, well, I guess that means he done changed his mind and he don't want me doing that. Because, because you see something and you think it's just up. You're going to go up to it. And there's never going to be a down when you're en route to something that God has set for you, which is not true.
That's
It's
definitely
just
not
not
true.
true. And so, what's that, Coach Sharon?
That's definitely not true.
Have you ever had that moment where God showed you something and your assumption is that, oh, okay, we're going to elevate up. And then it goes left, it goes bad, and you wonder now, okay, well, did God tell me that?
Well, I mean, all the time because everything that he tells you is going to come. He tells you what the end result is going to be, but he doesn't tell you what you got to go through to get to it. And
And
that's
that's
where we
what
miss
bothers
it, and
me.
that's where we lose it is because it was like, well, I didn't think it was going to be this hard. Well, why would you think the devil going to let it be easy for you to get to what God told you to do or
Be,
be?
because it should not be this hard. It just, can we at least say that it should not be this hard?
It should not, but he never told you it was going to be easy.
Right?
He just
That's
told you
true
it's going
too.
to be good when you get there.
Oh, Coach Cheryl, I mean, you were on it today, huh? You woke up. You didn't wake up to play. You woke up to you woke up to get it. So, you know what? All right. Well, we're gonna get into a worship song because I feel like we just definitely need we just need that. I feel like what you talking about and what you saying, all this stuff. You come on here to preach and stuff. Nobody said come preach today, and you're gonna have me in a Baptist fit. So, so I guess we better do
When you
something.
said, come on, have a conversation. So,
I
hey.
mean, well, you know what? You definitely came to do that. You didn't come to play with the devil this morning. All right, you guys. Miranda Curtis. This song is called God Almighty. It's a great worship song. It's a great song to pray to when you're talking about faith and maximizing your faith, and you just need that song to set your mind. Here you go. I mean, it's a very good song. Just take a moment and let's worship. And then when we come back, we're going to talk more about faith. And then we're going to bring Cora on, our very own village relations coordinator. Cora B is going to come on, and we're going to talk about this newsletter because I'm so excited about it. And if you have not read the newsletter, you need to go read it. So far, we're near 1,000 clicks on the newsletter in the app. 1,000. Yeah. I
Wow.
thank God.
That's a lot.
Right? Powerful. All right, we'll be right back.
Oh, we worship you. Oh, oh,
I'm telling y'all, by the end of this song, you are in full worship. Miranda Curtis is one of those artists that will get you there. If you're cleaning up your house, just bring you some tissue with you while you're cleaning, and then you go from there. I promise you. Just helping you out now. So you don't say I didn't tell you, don't say I didn't forewarn you, because she's that girl. Did Cora fall off? I think Cora fell off. So see if we can get her back on. All right, Coach. Listen, we were talking about Faith, and there Cora go. I thought I lost her. I'm like, where'd Cora go? We were talking about Faith, and we started this conversation last night in small group. And I love small group because next week we're talking about vision, and I'm curious because this conversation about faith, so I really want to see what you got to say about vision. I think we.
Not going to give you any previews.
I was no entry to it. Like, you know what? There's why I say that, because I feel like next week, if you take what we talked about this week and how in depth we went with it, we talked about standing still and trusting God. And that is work. And one of our family members said, that, I didn't see that as work because, I'm not doing anything, And I think faith, that was such a good point. That sometimes
But you're doing a lot, but you're really doing a lot when you're sitting there, because it really it's just like people take meekness for weakness, but really meekness is strength under control. So
wait a minute, what is it?
Strength under control.
Jesus, we're getting somewhere. Let's talk about vision real quick. We're just no.
We're not been talking about vision.
Can we talk about vision? Just a little. No. Oh, Jesus. When Coach Cheryl says she's not doing something, that's because she's up to something. And she's not going to do it. So we won't know till Monday. But I think, too, it is hard for us sometimes to just stand still and watch our life crumble and believe that God is actually doing something while you're seeing your life crumble right before your eyes. It's hard to imagine the two go together.
But is your life really crumbling? That's the whole thing.
Well,
now, that's where we get to the vision. What do you see? What do you see?
Is your life really? Is it really crumbling? That's
good. Your perception is it's crumbling. God's perception is, now I'm building you, and I'm getting you prepared for where you're going, for where I told you was going. But you don't know what the preparation is. I do.
Yeah, you don't know what my plan is.
Right.
I know. I know. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's move out of this because we're gonna get stuck here. This past week, we had the pleasure of, first of all, let me just say this. I am so godly grateful. Again, because God said something, and between when God said this would be the day, and this being the day, I've been homeless again with my family. I've struggled. I've lost jobs. I've lost money. I've lost a sense of self. I've gone through everything imaginable. So it just didn't look like didn't look like breakthrough was a thing. When I went live on TikTok, I really just wanted to get God off of my back. And I talk about that often, that I just wanted to be free from whatever God had said, whatever God had planned, and whatever God's will was. I just wanted to be free. And that was why I went live. But nothing has helped me realize the true hand of God more than seeing something like this newsletter come to fruition. Because, when we released this, I read the article, and I've got to say, truthfully so, Cora is phenomenal. She's a great writer. She very eloquently told Nanette's story. Coach, you remember Nanette, right? Nanette Miller?
Yes.
Well, yeah. And she was, what was she, BTU 1?
Yes.
She was BTU 1. And I never forget when we found out she had battled breast cancer. And we just so happened to be in the month of October. or I think we were coming out of September, early October. And she shared this story, just very naturally. And we looked at the calendar and we're like, oh my God, this is October. We had, as a matter of fact, we had just started Breakthrough in October. And that blessed me. And so from then on, we had purpose. Would I have ever thought a year later, we would have an opportunity to really tell her story by way of something like our newsletter? No, because I wasn't thinking of that. I think people think every moment we've experienced in Breakthrough has been calculative and we thought it through. No, the village never thought about it. When I made my TikTok name Speak Well Bishop, I didn't know why that was. I was just like, okay, just everybody got these weird TikTok names. I'll just go with this. Never thought about that. Like nothing has had any thought. And this is why I say trusting God with everything is so vital, because I could not have foreseen this. And so reading this newsletter, I got chills, tears began to run down my face because I didn't write it. I didn't do anything but give a couple ideas creatively. And that was it. This was 100% in Cora's hand, and she just ran with it. And it is awesome. And so I want to pull her up on the screen because it was really cool, and we want to talk with her today just to kind of get an idea about her process, her journey, in introducing our first inaugural newsletter. So Cora, go share you in that corner. Got you in the corner.
Hey.
Hey Cora, good morning.
Good morning. Hey everyone. How are you all?
We're great. We're great. And Coach Cheryl probably have her share of questions. Cora, I gotta ask you this. Because you took this task and you just took it head on and said, you know what, I'll do it, no problem. I didn't know that. Give us some background that you actually done this before in some capacity or another.
I actually, back in high school when I was a freshman, I was a part of my school's newspaper. I was responsible for just making sure that everybody organized their stuff and actually checking their grammar behind them. I didn't necessarily write anything, but I was always the person to go to for grammatical errors and to make sure that it was ready for finalization to be printed off and sent out to the school. So when I got the opportunity to actually do the newsletter and write and actually have a piece out there, it was just like really awesome to convey what it is that I wanted my readers to see.
One of the things that blessed me was your passion. When you take on a task, you get passionate real quick. I mean, your passion, it comes out swinging. And you're very genuine about what it is that you do. On this process, putting this newsletter together, Village News. First of all, what made you say, you know what, I'll do it? I'll do it. What made you say yes to this assignment?
Honestly speaking, I know that I'm very good at writing. I've always wrote when I was going through my different trials and my childhood trauma. I would always write, and it would literally be stuff that I went back and read. I was like, oh dang, I actually wrote that. Like you would think I was a poet or something.
That came from me.
Like you would think I was a poet or something. How well it was written. And so I was asleep, and I saw Miss Manette, and I was thinking about the different things that was coming up, and I'm like, why am I thinking of all these different things? And then I remembered when we had our leadership meeting that you had mentioned you wanted to have a church blog, but we never really divulged into the details of it. So then again, I was just like, oh, okay, well, whatever, went to sleep and saw it all happening and unfolding. And I was like, okay, I'm supposed to be doing this. And so then I remember we went back to the meeting and I was like, Minister D, I think we should release a church newsletter because it's on me heavy. Like, let's just do it. Let's do it.
And that's typical. Like, God gives you vision. And here's what that actually taught me. Really cool thing. is that sometimes when God gives you something, it's not for you to execute it. He'll send the help. He'll send the hands. And so we put it, and this is cool because the goal, which was different, we just released it in the atmosphere, and God sent the rest. I remember when we put out one time, Sonya Long. I'm like, God, are we supposed to really do this? This Love More and all this other stuff. We were planning for Love More, and it was just very complicated. The weather, the city was fighting us, and I'm like, I don't even know if we're supposed to do this. And it was really for another set time, which was when Sonya was here this past August for our breakthrough weekend. But here's what was great about it. I said, God, if this is for us to do, you're going to have to make, I need to know. And I put it out there, and we left it alone. I kid you not, Sonya found me on Facebook and wrote on Facebook and said, hey, listen, I just need to know if you know, because I feel like this is something I should be doing, I should be a part of. And she stepped in a major way. And so one thing God has taught me with this journey is if you, that one step, I'll do the rest, great. I mean, it's a fact. Cora, you had a chance to do what I don't think any of us have been able to do in the village, and that was to meet Nanette personally. She's already told me about the experience. I'm getting chills, y'all. Y'all got to bear with me. She shared with me the experience, but how was your experience?
Just being in the car and my husband was driving and getting up there, like the closer we got, I got so nervous because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna get her story and then this is gonna happen and then I'm gonna write about it and then that's it. But instead, what I perceived going in was completely different than what God had perceived for me going in. Once I had arrived, she was very welcoming. She was very warm and sweet and just very pure. And she was like, you know, it's funny. And she had shared this with me. And she was like, it's funny that you're here to ask for my story because God had directed me to share my story prior.
Wow.
And I was avoiding it. I was afraid to share my story.
Wow.
And so when she said that to me, I just kind of took a step back and I was like, well, I'm here. Like, let's do it. Let's just get your story and let's find out what it is and what did you overcome from it. And so I had my recorder going because I was going to go back and listen to it later so that I'll know what to write. And so we prayed and then she started talking and I was just listening and just asking those questions, especially those hard-hitting questions like, how did it feel going through this? What was your thought process through this? And she just cried, but she told me everything and it blessed me in that moment. And so I wanted our readers, I wanted the village to be as if though they were there and to feel as if though she was telling her story to them as well. So I thought long and hard. And after I left from her home, I began typing on my phone and I started immediately writing out her story in my notes. And I was like, oh, yeah, I know where I want to go in this direction. And next thing you know, I went to editing and my fingers just did the rest of the work. It was like God was present and my fingers just said, and that was the end of that. Like, I just really wanted the village and anybody reading her story to be as if though they was there and she was telling her story. Like I wanted them to feel as if though they was in the room with her and to feel the same set of emotions that I had felt as I was receiving her story.
And you know what? That's what I felt. I felt like I was in her home. I was sitting there with her and we were having this conversation together. You were asking the questions based on the article. You were asking the questions to help us understand how it caught her out of nowhere. It was not something she expected. She had an ankle-related issue, and to go in for your foot and find out something else is happening, that is, I mean, you allowed us to feel that. But where I was really blessed in this article, and where it really got me, was where she said she lost 2 breasts and not her life. That I felt you when you said that was like for me. And mind you, we hadn't talked about the article. We hadn't met. Of course, I think you met with our MD with Christian, and you guys had, met on that part. I didn't want to read the article until it dropped, like, for everybody else. And that just blew me away. How was it hearing her say that? Like, what did that have? What was that for you?
When she said that to me, it was like this revelation. Like, it was just like, wait a minute. I'm over here complaining because my tire went flat, and I'm just so upset. Like, dang it, this tire went flat, and I gotta pay this much, that much. But then there's a person who wish it was their tire that was flat because they may have been in a car accident or something. And so when she said, I lost 2 breasts and not my life, it really put in perspective for me. Like, I'm over here complaining about the small things when it's something completely bigger than me. And it just kind of made me stop and be like, oh my gosh, like, why am I complaining? What am I fussing about? When I should be thankful and have a spirit of gratitude instead of anger or frustration. Like, it truly blessed me.
It blessed me. Coach Cheryl, you had a chance to read the article?
Yes, I did.
What were your thoughts?
I thought it was very well written, and it really got to the issue, just like you said. It kind of changed people's perspective on when you think about you're losing parts of your body, but you're still here. Then when you complain about, oh, I got a splinter in my finger, then you see how insignificant that is, and why are we looking at things that really doesn't impact us as much as something else could have. So it's really a time when we just really kind of need to change our perspective on how we look at things. Vision.
That's so true. Man.
Emphasis on vision.
I just thought I threw that in for him, because
I tried to, okay, good. I do agree. Emphasis on vision. Cora, this I think what we're gonna do, I'm gonna try to get you and Nanette on one of these morning breaks together. But she said that she had she called me personally, and she reached out to me just to tell me that she was so blessed by the sit down. And for me, I think it's important because when you're talking about being the village and carrying that in others and other people adopting the mission and the assignment to be the village, that blessed me because she felt her village come in the house. And she was encouraged by that. She said, but before we hung up, she said, and I'm speaking twice this weekend about breast cancer, about my ordeal. And so the timing of God. And Cora, can we talk about this? Nanette was not easy to get in touch with. Cora was she was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm trying.
I had thought of a plan B before we can get done with plan A.
She really wrote out a full plan B. Oh my gosh. But by the grace of God, her and Jennifer, she reached out to Jennifer Royer in our village. And Jen made it happen. She got Nanette on the phone, and it was history. And not only did Cora go to get her story, Cora came bearing gifts. And no one asked her to do that. She found it in her heart to do that. And that's the village. That's what God has blessed us to be. I'm in Texas. You guys are in Georgia. And to know that there's somebody close enough. How far did you drive, Cora?
I drove 2 hours and 45
Or Jamal,
minutes.
my brother drove, y'all. Just put it out there.
2 hours and 45 minutes away.
Nearly 3 hours.
Yeah, and it was like heavy traffic. It almost looked impossible. Like, it was heavy traffic. He was going, then stopping. Like, it almost looked like we just wasn't going to get there. I was worried I wasn't going to meet her on time and that she was going to leave, or by the time I get there, she wouldn't be there. But it was funny because she said she knew she had something to do that afternoon, but she had forgot what it was, and I just so happened to pull in the driveway. So
My
it's just like the timing of everything was just
woo.
God did. Like there's no explaining that at all. It was like God did. But to go back to trying to get in contact with her, it was really funny because when we finally got on the phone, she was like, "That was your number?" And I was like, "Yes, ma'am. I've been trying to reach out to you because I'm trying to share your story with our village." And she goes, "Oh, I thought she was a bill collector. That's why I didn't answer."
And that
And I
happened to
was
you like twice that week.
like, "Yeah, Christian had hung up on me because she thought I was a bill collector. Didn't even give the phone time to ring." And then Miss Nanette hung up on me. And I was like, "I promise I am not here to take money. I am just here to spread love." And after that, she was like, "Now that I know that, I'll save your number." And I was like, "Thank you."
My God. Well, every month you can anticipate a news letter being sent to you. We've had the email process. I'm like, God, what's going on? We can't email. And God's like, I got better plans. So you either get a text notification. You'll also be notified in the app. There's just a newsletter tab that'll pop up once a month for throughout that week. You got 7 days. Tap on that tab. You can read it inside the app. It's going to pop up for you. Go in and check out the latest article. Or you can always go to dgrministries.com. And there's a tab now that says newsletter. And there's also a nice little, if you want to know more about Cora Burston, you guys can go to dgrministries.com and read about her role in this ministry, what she does to help us create a safe place for our family, for friends that are probably just stopping by, checking out the app or checking out the village. You know, we are a virtual family, and I'm learning to embrace that because I'm like, you know, this is not a group where it's a following. It's we're family. And I think the goal here, as Coach Cheryl loves to focus on this, is disciples. We have to become disciples. We have to go out here and do what God has called us to do. And sometimes discipleship is it's not about your church family. It's not about bringing people to your space. It's really about bringing people to Christ. The bigger picture is Christ. Discipleship is not recruitment. You know, we're not recruiting people to join just a ministry. We have to encourage people to follow Christ, and so I think that's why they don't call discipleship recruiting,
Mhm.
because it's to lead you to the truth, not the option. Amen. So I think
Amen.
we miss that sometimes. That regardless, I'm learning even in discipleship that sometimes people have different walks with God, and you have to be open to the diversity. I mean, the
Yeah.
Bible speaks of the many ways into heaven, but you have to be open to that. We cannot follow every person and say, well, we do it this way, and if they don't do it this way, then they're not trying to be discipled. No, as disciples, we have to learn the many ways to reach, the many ways to love. And so, Corey, you've helped us build, you're helping us create and build discipleship by going out and meeting. Man, I'm sorry. I can't say this enough. I don't know too many people that's going to drive 2 hours and 45 minutes for a stranger. I'm just, listen, if that's what discipleship looks like, right, Coach Cheryl?
Yes, exactly.
And that's
Exactly
why
that.
I was about to say, and that's also why I ended up coming with our slogan for the newsletter, which is "For the village, by the village." This
Right.
is our village sharing their stories. This is basically their newsletter. This is written by them, and it's for our village. Whoever that person is that need that encouragement, that need that uplifting, you can count on it to be in that newsletter because you're not alone. And 9 times out of 10, there's somebody else in the village that is going through the exact same things as you. So I am pleased
That's
to
right.
announce that we are actually in production for our November newsletter, and it will be dropping soon. Y'all can expect it most likely this first or second week of November, but just know that it will be out soon. So make sure you guys follow.
Exactly, you guys. Well, Cora, thank you so much for being with us. Again, that newsletter is available right now at DGR Ministries. And if you would like, um, you can head over to dgrministries.com and take a look at it. Or you can step inside of the app, the Village app. Y'all know where that's at. and and check it out there. Cora, congratulations on having high numbers. We're nearing, I think, nearing 1,000
Yes.
launches on that tab, 1,000 app launches. So it needless to
Um,
say that article is doing well and it's creating engagement inside of the app. We also had a couple people going download. We got 4 new downloads. I guess so they can go see the article, so to
there's
God be the glory.
also a email the editor on the DGR Ministries website. So
Right.
I will be reading those if you feel like you would like to share your story with me, or if you want to just drop some encouragement or whatever the case may be. I will be reading your emails. So please,
That's
by all
true.
means, I
Yeah.
encourage you guys to blow up my inbox.
Yeah, email her. She'll know it's you. It has a subject line. You guys see the subject line that says "letter to the editor" or something like that. Please, if you have a story, something that you want to share, something that as it relates to the theme or the village that would be helpful, that would grow, or even encourage someone, please feel free to share that, because our goal is to tell your story. This is the one of many ways we use what God has blessed us with to tell your story. So she's there, she's available, she'll get that email and she'll respond timely. So again, Court, definitely thank you for taking out the time to hang with Coach Cheryl and us this morning on Morning Break. We definitely
Yes,
appreciate you.
congratulations and job well done.
Job
Thank
well done.
y'all so much. I
All right,
appreciate
Court,
it.
we'll see you
Love
next
y'all.
time. All right, love you more.
Bye.
Right.
Bye-bye. Coach, I'm telling you, this month has been very awesome. October, this is my hard month of the year.
But God gonna get you through it.
He will. He will definitely. I believe that, Coach Cheryl.
He's
I
gonna
believe that.
surprise you this year.
You know what? I said that too. I said I think God's going. Here's what's funny. My spiritual, one of my spiritual moms, who I just love, just checked on me because she know this is her birthday month. So she checked on me and she said, don't be surprised. God, God have ways of uplifting us. So you never know. You may find some encouragement in something. And she said, so I'm thinking the sun's gonna shine, and that really blessed me because I think we have to think that way. The sun's going to shine. I don't know if we're gonna do morning break that Thursday. It just really depends. But you know what? We look forward to whatever God does.
You might needs to do morning break.
You think so? You know what? You're right. You're probably right. We may need to knock out and do morning break, because it is definitely a blessing. It's a gift, and I enjoy this. I enjoy waking up and hanging out with you all. Um, we're gonna work on our timeliness, our schedule. But prayerfully, God's gonna position us with a team to help with production on this, so that we can get things the way we want them and the way we need them, so that you have a consistent place to wake up and enjoy your day and go forward from there. Coach Cheryl, the shirts dropped in price. They went down to 15.
Okay.
So make sure y'all go get y'all shirts if y'all haven't ordered them. Please go. Please log on to dgrministries.com. Go to merch, and you can do it there. Or if you're in the app, go to the merch store and order your shirts. They are $15 plus shipping and handling. And that will get your Village Care shirt to you by the 23rd. We want to see everyone dressed up. It's $15. Come on, let's get that and get the shirt. Let's show our support. Village Care as God has revealed, it's so funny how this works out. It's not just about breast cancer. This is us caring anytime we do something that is with love. Your Village Care shirt and showing that you care, that's your badge. And so I encourage every person, please get your Village Care shirt.
Yeah,
Order
please
it.
get your shirts. Get your shirts.
I know, right? Why didn't want to go get these shirts, Coach Cheryl? All right, well, Coach, that's it for us. That's morning break. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to share? We're down to our last 3 minutes, trying to be our hour. But your final thoughts for today, and then I'll give mine, and then we'll bid farewell.
Well, my final thoughts would be when the why shows up, the what doesn't matter.
I love when you say that. I love when you say that's my favorite saying. When the why shows up, the what doesn't matter. For me, I will say my thought this month or this particular day, it deals directly with what I'm getting ready to face, which is October the 19th. Is of course, as always, that whatever happened did not happen to you; it happened for you. And if you can accept that it's happening for you, then God can get something through you. So it's not personal; it's spiritual. It's next level. It's not now. It's more about where you're going. So I hope that you guys are encouraged to enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you smiled a lot today. Okay? And like Coach Cheryl said, okay, all right. All right, Coach. Well, we're
Smile
out.
today. Smile today.
That's
Think
right.
about something. Go back and listen to the morning break and listen to the earthquake story, and you'll laugh.
Please go listen to that story. That story in itself is a mess. That's a mess. All right, well, Coach, I love you, and family, I love you guys, and until Thursday, maybe. Coach Cheryl say yes, but
Yes. No.
we'll see.
No. Maybe.
I love you guys. All right,
Love you
Coach.
too. All right. Have a great day.
I believe. Say it, y'all. Come on, let your feet get heavy. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Somebody make some noise in here. Come on, catch it, Jehovah. Jehovah, I trust in you. Oh Lord, say it. Jehovah, I trust. I believe. Say it. Everybody say it. I believe you. I trust. Come on. Y'all got your part over here. I can't hear you. Come on, say it. I trust. Say it.